The Varkal Combat Arena wasn't a place for beginners, tourists, or dreamers. It was where reputations came to die, where champions were carved out of bruised flesh, broken bone, and the rare courage of those willing to stand in the circle of lights. Tonight, the stadium was louder than usual, thousands of alien spectators, their scales and mandibles shimmering under the neon beams, chanting one name over and over. Drakon! 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 Drakon the Unbroken, a warrior so fast that spectators often blinked and missed the entire fight. So durable that plasma batons bent on his skin. No opponent had ever landed a hit, not one, across 11 years of undefeated combat. And tonight, the announcers promised something special. A new challenger, a being rumored to be the last survivor of the Earthborn Marines, extinct. Supposedly, a relic species, statistically unimpressive, physically average, considered obsolete by most galactic combat analysts. Her name appeared on the holoscreen. Elara Vali, human, Earthborn. The arena laughed collectively. A species whose homeworld had been labeled Class Blue, dangerously lethal environment. But to the galaxy that only meant one thing. They were primitives who had evolved in chaos, not in strategy. Drakon stood in the center of the arena, towering, plated in natural armor, his claws clicking as he rotated his wrists. "Bring her out!" he rumbled, voice deep enough to shake the sand. The gate opened, and the laughter stopped. Elara Vale walked out, not big, not armored, not glowing with cybernetic enhancements, but calm, terrifyingly calm, her breathing slow. Her posture relaxed, her eyes focused like she was studying the weather, not a champion who could break steel with his kneecaps. Her suit was old Earthborn military issue, matte gray, scuffed, patched, and outdated. But she moved like flowing water. Drakon tilted his head. "You are the challenger?" She shrugged. "You're the one they said no one ever hit." The arena roared with amusement. Drakon cracked his neck. "You will not be the first." She smiled faintly. "We'll see." The lights dimmed. The announcer's voice boomed. "Begin!" Spectators leaned forward, expecting Drakon to blitz at speeds only visible with slow-motion replay. But he didn't. He blinked. Because in the space of that blink, before the thought to attack even finished forming in his brain, he felt something that no creature in the arena had ever felt. Pain. A sharp, clean impact under the jaw. Drakon staggered. The crowd gasped. And then it happened again. A jab to the ribs, a hook to the side of his head, a liver shot, a blow to the throat. 5 hits. 5. All delivered before Drakon had even recognized that the fight had begun. The replay screens slowed the footage and still struggled to capture her movements. She wasn't teleporting. No, this was something else entirely. This was Earthborn conditioning. This was what happened when a species evolved on a Deathworld, where everything tried to kill them, where survival demanded reflexes bordering on precognition. Drakon roared and swung, but he was already too late. Elara had moved before his muscles even activated. She wasn't just reacting. She was reading him, analyzing micro-twitches in his shoulders, the dilation of his pupils, the flex of his claws. Humans didn't fight with strength. They fought with anticipation, and Elara was a master. She ducked under a swipe, slid past him, and tapped his armored spine twice with quick, precise knuckles. Not punches, calculations. Each strike placed exactly where his armor plating was thinnest. Drakon spun around and raged. "You tiny, fragile thing, you dare mock me?" Elara rolled her neck. "If I mocked you, you'd know. I'm just warming up." The crowd howled with disbelief. Drakon lunged. Elara vanished, stepping sideways with perfect economy of motion, making his charge look like a drunken stumble. Her fist blurred again, landing another 3 hits before Drakon completed his turn. By now, the scoreboard was struggling to keep count. One of the commentators shouted, "She's breaking physics!" Another corrected, "No, it's human biomechanics, ancient Earthborn close-quarters combat techniques. They're terrifying." Drakon snarled and slammed both fists into the ground, sending a shockwave through the sand. He expected her to be thrown or at least staggered. Instead, she stepped between tremor waves like someone crossing ripples in a puddle. Drakon finally saw it, not her speed, but the way she watched him. Humans didn't just see movement. They saw intent. Every shift of his muscles telegraphed a future strike. Every flick of his eyes painted a prediction of where her death might come from. And she countered before those possibilities ever became reality. "You're reading me," Drakon growled. "Not my fault you're an open book," she replied. He roared and charged. This time his movements were unpredictable, erratic, wild, desperate. But wild strikes only worked on fighters who relied on structure. Humans, however, had evolved dodging chaotic predators. Ambush lizards, drop bears, apex serpents, pack hunters with unpredictable patterns. Elara slipped through Drakon's frenzy. Like she'd danced this choreography since childhood. She swept behind him. And with a precise heel kick to the back of his knee, the Unbroken dropped to one knee for the first time in his career. The stadium fell silent. Blood trickled from the corner of Drakon's mouth. Alien blood, thick and dark. He touched it with trembling fingers. "You made me bleed!" Elara breathed out slowly, tucking a loose strand of hair behind her ear. "Yeah, that was hit number 9 if you're counting." Drakon stared at her like she was a monster out of the oldest nightmares. "You're not a warrior," he whispered. "You're something else." Elara shrugged. "I'm human." Drakon rose again, slower this time, his confidence cracked. "Why fight? Why face me? What does your species gain from this?" Elara glanced around the arena. Thousands watching, billions streaming across the galaxy. "You all think humans are weak," she said softly. "Fragile, outdated, extinct." She clenched her fists. "We survived a planet that hated us. Storms, quakes, predators, diseases, you name it. Earth tried to kill us every day, and we kept standing. So when I hear a galaxy of conquerors laugh at us," she stepped forward. "I correct them." Drakon lowered his stance, but fear flickered in his eyes. "I will not fall to a tiny off-world insect." Elara smiled. "Then try to stand." The arena lights flickered as the final exchange began. Drakon threw a punch meant to shatter her skull. Elara slipped inside his guard, her hand brushing his wrist, redirecting the force softly, almost elegantly. Her other hand struck his solar plexus, then his jaw, his knee, his throat, his temple. Each hit was a whisper compared to Drakon's thunderous blows, but precision beats power. Drakon collapsed face first into the sand. The stadium shook with stunned silence. For the first time in its history, Drakon the Unbroken was broken. Elara stepped back, breathing lightly, not even winded. The announcer stammered, "The winner is Earthborn human. Elara Vey!" It took 10 whole seconds before the crowd remembered how to scream. The arena medics rushed in, checking Drakon. He groaned, pushing them away. "Do not touch me. Let her speak." Elara blinked but stepped forward. Drakon looked up at her with something she had never expected to see in him. "Respect. You landed 5 hits. Before I knew the fight began," he said, shaking his head. "Such beings should not exist. And yet you do." Elara exhaled. "Humans aren't what you think. We're not the strongest, not the biggest, not the fastest." She paused. "But we adapt. Faster than any species the galaxy has ever seen." The arena listened, silent. "You call us fragile, but we are the only species that trained in environments that tried to kill us every hour. You call us slow, but we evolved to respond before danger happens. You call us extinct." She smiled faintly. "We're very hard to get rid of." Drakon looked up at her. "Then the galaxy should fear you." Elara shook her head. "No, just don't underestimate us." The arena erupted with applause, cheers, chants of her name echoing across the metal domes, not as a novelty, not as a joke, as a warrior, as a reminder. The galaxy had forgotten humans. Tonight, Elara Vale made them remember.